Hey, I'm Hollywood Hurd.
I'm Jim Young.
And this is
The Smoked Debrief.
Jim, tell us about our guest today.
Hollywood, we got Steven Harvalias in today. And Steven, I've known him since you're about 14, 15 years old.
Young kid.
And he's still talking to you?
Yeah.
That's a miracle.
Comes from a family of hustlers. By hustle, I mean business. They get it done. They know hard work. His father had a restaurant downtown Burlington for the longest time. What was the name of that?
Manoli's Cafe.
And we go in there in the mornings, get breakfast, and then I think he just recently had he had the Cafe Acropolis.
Correct, across the street from
on
you.
The other end, yeah, and then had that for several years,
Yep.
and then went bought Mayberry.
Correct.
And had Mayberry, which was
Right.
a diner, historical diner. And Stephen we did stereo work and stuff like that. And
Oh, is that right?
Stephen, you competed in bodybuilding.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
Go ahead and tell, and you
First,
Tell
let's get
us
these
about
smokers
yourself. Yes.
lit up.
Okay.
Today we're going to smoke a Macanudo Inspirado, which is, this is probably what Jim smoked mostly before he met me and found out about real cigars. This is the Inspirado Orange. It's the first version of the Inspirado line. I'm kind of, nervous about this because it is a Honduran cigar, and we know how I feel about Honduran cigars. The wrapper's Honduran, the binder's Honduran, the filler is Dominican, Honduran, and a little Nicaraguan. Medium cigar. They say it's going to be a little spicy but creamy, which doesn't make any sense to me, but we'll see. And, they say you should pair it with rum, and I'm all for that.
we'll find out. All
So
right.
this is, everybody needs to know this is your first cigar, right?
Yes, I've never really smoked a cigar before.
So we'll try to.
I've never smoked like any cigarette or anything.
Right.
So
We'll try to keep it from.
If I'd have known, we'd have put a load in it where it blows up.
The most important thing to remember is don't inhale.
Okay.
And Jim's
Not
going to
inhale.
show you exactly what he's
You
talking
want to
about.
cut the end,
okay.
and you have a choice of straight cut or a wedge cut. We're just going to go ahead and do a straight cut.
Okay.
And some guys old school just bite the end off of it and spit it out. If you don't have a cutter, that's what you do.
Okay.
So you just take the cutter, you get it just over the butt and clip it.
Just over the butt.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. About right there. A little less.
Yeah, you want to be sure you don't cut too far because then you'll
Yeah,
cut
there
the
you go.
cap, and the cap is what holds the whole cigar
There
together.
you go.
Okay.
All right, now lighting. I'm the last person you're gonna take lighting advice from.
Okay.
But normally you just get the flame. You want a good torch flame, and just circle it around. And we're lit.
So the important thing to remember is when you're smoking it, keep it in your mouth.
Yeah, don't.
Your mouth,
inhale it.
don't inhale it.
Okay.
Your mouth is where all of the taste buds are.
Okay.
The sweet, the sour, all that is on your tongue, pretty much in the roof of your mouth. So
Okay.
you're doing a great job there.
I watched Jim.
I think you're even doing it better than Jim.
Is that good right there, Jim?
Yeah, and just start puffing on it. And
With the lighter
there
going.
you go. Boy, I've had too much coffee this morning. There you go.
Is he lit?
I think he's lit. Now, if you get to where you don't like it,
Yeah.
Now the thing about cigars is, cigars will go out
Okay.
yeah,
if you're not drawing on it like every 30 seconds or so.
Oh, okay.
Because there's no chemicals. The chemicals are what makes the cigarettes keep burning.
I can taste it though. I don't.
It's
You know,
very
some people
it's very creamy.
have they'll be able to pull different flavor notes out, like a bourbon or something like that.
Okay.
Hollywood might be able to do that. I can on coffee.
Sure. Yeah.
So are you in the restaurant business too?
I am not in the restaurant business. I got out years ago.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Did you hate it?
I loved it growing up in it, but I did not enjoy it as I got older.
Because it's a 20-hour-a-day job if you're running a restaurant, right?
I worked 40 hours a week 45 hours a week in high school. So it was like I stopped playing sports my senior year to to work the family business. And that's what I thought I was going to do the rest of my life, honestly.
So what changed your path?
You go out.
You got to puff one to get a little oxygen in it.
Just start puffing.
There we go.
I wasn't trying to burn you. So,
Yeah, you're good.
but
So basically, I was the chubby 12-year-old growing up, and I got bit by the bug of fitness. And that was my ultimate passion, but gyms back then paid, $5 to $7 an hour. And so I never worked at a gym for the money. My cousin ended up marrying a man who owned a gym. And I started working there at a young age just for the love of it. And I was like, I want to do this for a living. But then it's like, how do you technically make money working in something that you know nothing about? And so I was like, okay, there's got to be a way to do this. So next thing I know, I basically was from working in the gym, hawked everything I had, my motorcycle, I had some cash, and $55,000 of credit card debt, and opened up my first little studio. And
In Burlington?
in Burlington, yes, sir, right next to Village Grill. I rented one bay, and November, December hit, and literally lost basically all my training clients. From, oh, you got holidays, you got this, you got that. Well, that's a major, major problem for somebody like me.
Yeah.
And the story behind the gym equipment, I'll go into a little detail. So, is it okay if I put this down, Jim?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for me to talk. I can light it in a little bit.
all right.
So basically before that, I started researching gym equipment. Our Gold's Gym had gotten some new gym equipment, and I bought an elliptical from them. And let's call it, I think back then it was like $1,500. And new ones were like $6,000.
Yeah.
So I bought it, put it in my house because I was a competitive bodybuilder. I wanted to compete. And I needed a cardio machine, but I wanted a commercial one. Because if you're bigger, if you go buy something that
Oh,
Dick's
it's
40,
not going to last. You can't buy
it's
some-
like a speaker versus a good one.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you get it.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything of it, put it in my house. When I was opening my little training studio, I put that same machine in my studio, and I'm searching for gym equipment. And I realized real fast how expensive it was. I had no clue. And I probably needed at the time to do it right, 100,000+. I didn't have that. Hell, I didn't have really like 10,000 at the time.
Right.
And y'all both probably been there. How do you open a business when you don't have the funds? It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And people think you can just go into a bank and they'll give you a small business loan, and they're just going to laugh at you.
The bank will tell you, come back when you've got 2 years of
Yep.
statements.
The funny thing about that is I did go to my bank and they turned me down for years. Every time your debt to income's too much. My dad told me one thing growing up. He was like, hey, we're going to work 100 hours a week, but we're going to drive whatever the hell we want to drive. And so that always resonated. So I would always drive a nice car to my downfall. So really can't afford the nice car, but I'm driving it anyway because I feel like, hey, I'm going to work 18 hours, but I want to walk outside and get in something nice.
Right, exactly.
Which I still live this way, by the way. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when you have that debt and you're not necessarily showing major profits, the bank looks at you a certain way, especially if you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was no bank loan, hence where the credit card debt come in. So I'm like, well, okay, screw you. I'll figure this out. And if you remember back in the day, guys, they were giving out credit cards like crazy. I would apply for 10 grand on this one, 15 on this one, 6 on this one, 10 of them. Not the way I suggest to do it, but I would literally be robbing Peter to pay Paul on credit cards. And next thing I know, I found a gym owner that was willing to sell me equipment for the money I had plus my motorcycle. He gave me fair value. This is 06, let's call it, into 2010. If y'all remember, the economy was real bad.
Yeah.
Mom and pop gyms were going out of business everywhere. My initial gym load of equipment was just the start.
Because that's really when the big chain gyms were really kicking off, right?
Oh.
Was in that time period?
Yes.
Would you say yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And when I was opening, just so you know, there was a lot of people locally that was like, how's he going to compete with this big gym? How's he? I was one-on-one training. I had a small tanning salon with just a few tanning beds,
Right.
and my average training client was the older lady who tanned to make herself feel better.
Right.
And she would ask me advice. I'm a 20-some-year-old kid, and she would say to me, hey, how are you getting this, how are you losing weight, Steven? How are you staying in shape? Me just being nice, talking to her. She would say, oh, I would just talk to her, and she'd be like, could you train me? Could you do my diet? So I'm like, that's how the gym kind of started, because I was like, well, I have instant clientele.
Yeah.
Well, during that time, I open up, and there's a big dog in town. And
Who was it? Name some names.
Matt Lehman from Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
He was basically, he bought the gym that I worked at. He bought Edwards Fitness Zone. And he bought the Alamance Road Gold's Gym. And he was telling people that he put an ad in the paper saying he was moving to Mebane to compete against Allen. So at New Millennium. So during that time, I wasn't trying to compete with anybody. I'm like 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
One-on-one, every person we were training was not bodybuilder. It was mostly women that I would say had some overweight that just wanted to look and feel better.
Mm-hmm.
They were intimidated to walk into a big gym.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they wanted some hot dude
Well,
telling them how to do it.
yeah, maybe so. And so, me just having that personality, I literally just was like, hey, I've always, since a kid, wanted to make impact and I like to help people, and I give people 10 minutes of my time or however long in order to speak to them in a professional, nice manner, but tell the truth. And sometimes that's a hard conversation. If you don't want to hear something, but a guy like me says something, I can also be taken the wrong way.
Right.
Big personality, but you're either going to love me or hate me.
Yeah.
So next thing I know, the Gold's Gym they have a meeting, and my workout partner, I was going there every night at the time. I don't know, honestly, if I've ever told this story on camera. And my workout partner comes back, and we were going there to work out at so I'd leave my studio, we'd go there at 9:30 at night when it was slower. And they had a meeting saying, basically, kind of making fun of me. Oh, we're going to put him out of business just like we do everybody else, blah, blah, blah.
That's just fire right
Oh, and I'm not one to back down, Jim. Like, I literally wish everyone does well. Obviously, you own a big coffee shop. But as you know, we can have 1 million coffee shops and yours still do
already
great.
do. Yeah.
We have 1 million. Yeah. Hey, Jim, same with gyms.
Yeah.
They're on every corner. CrossFit, this place. And I support a lot of them and sell them equipment. It'd be like you selling other people coffee.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. As long as I'm busy, I hope you're busy too.
That's right.
And so next thing I know, I never stepped foot back in that gym after that meeting, after I was told what happened. We canceled gym membership. And so come November, December, I was very slow. And Tom Lindley was my landlord at the time, old man Tom, who I loved.
Yeah.
And I said to Tom, believe it or not, Jim, I don't know if you remember, there was a coffee, my old location next to Village Grill, there was I don't even know what it was called, there was a coffee shop right there.
Yeah.
My tanning was upstairs, and so another place had went out of business to the left, so I had 3 bays. And I called him and I said, okay, Tom, I'm one-on-one training, could I meet with you? Economy's terrible. Like everything. There was probably 6, 7 places open in my shopping center. Nothing's renting. I said, Tom, what would you charge me for next door? And he's like, well, how's your gym doing? And I'm like, not good. He thinks I'm nuts.
Yeah.
He says, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to open a 24/7 facility to try to get like 50 to 100 private members. My people that we were training were asking me, hey, Steven, I want to come in an extra couple days. And the 24-hour thing had just kind of started, and most
With
of
a fob, where you had a fob.
Correct.
Yeah.
But most of the local places that even done it would literally, like, us 3 have a key. They would
Right.
literally
Yep.
print us
Yep.
a key
Yep.
or like a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch code.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a thing in the early 2000s, not like it is now. And so I'm like, I had done hours, guys, of research, and I'm like, you know what? I'm really going to master this. And so I'd done all these searching. Back then, the internet was not what it is today as far as like web-based. You know how everything's web-based now.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I spent like $12,000 on the computers. Back then, you bought the software. It was like on your computers. So nothing streaming. So I bought this amazing software, and the crazy part is I used it for like almost 15 years.
Wow,
Till finally,
you got your money's worth.
oh my God, 100%. And I financed that on credit cards, that whole system. So anyways, I was 24-hour, and during that time, I'm like, oh shit, I need more equipment. Well, a person that I was training in my gym loved that elliptical that I bought, and me just being very transparent, he was like, Steven, what'd you pay for this? And I was like, $1,500, like 4, 5, 6 years earlier.
Yeah.
He's like, Steven, I'll pay that right now. I'd love to have it. And it looked almost brand new because it was just in private facility.
Yeah, right.
And I said, really? And I was like, he was like, yeah. He was like, I was going to buy one, and it was, $6,000. He was like, you're saving me $4,500. And I was like, wow. And I'd never thought about it like that, guys, And so I'm like, okay. And so I said, let me see if I can find you one. I ended up buying more of them, selling him mine, literally.
Yeah.
Made no money, but the light bulb went off that I was like, I used it for free for X amount of years.
Yeah.
I mean,
because most gyms then, they couldn't buy used equipment and put used equipment in their facilities.
correct.
It all had to be a new piece or a
New
new
look.
system.
Is that
or-
hygiene rules, or that's just the way they did it?
I think, Jim, honestly, there was not a lot of places like what I do now that like sell the used refurbished equipment.
Yeah.
And also that still will take it and make it nice again.
Yeah.
I don't really know because I was young back then, but I could not locate anywhere for me to personally find stuff like that.
Wow.
Well, during that time period, if y'all remember the 07 into 09
Well, real estate crash. Nobody had money.
there you go.
Nobody had money at all.
And that's what I was going to go into. During that time, mom and pop gyms are going out of business everywhere. They're not paying rents. We got a major problem in the society, in the world. I remember
People would come and owners would just lock them up.
Oh.
And now all this equipment's in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Craigslist, if y'all remember, was becoming a big deal.
Yeah.
So I had started buying and selling on Craigslist, just not at all to make money. To like, if I had 3 of these machines, I sold 1.
Yeah.
And mom and pop gyms were posting also on there. They used to make, people locally made fun of me. They would be like, hey, Steven, what are you selling that old rusty junk? Nobody wants that. They were literally scrap metaling the old machines.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, like things that are selling for big money now. Imagine a 69 Camaro, but back during a time when nobody wanted it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was a time, and now they're going for big money.
Yeah.
I was in the same boat with gym equipment, but I'll be honest, I didn't even know it. I just loved old gym equipment. It was just
Right.
something I liked. So what ended up happening was I'm going around, my girlfriend, now my wife at the time, I had just met her in 2008. We're going around literally my father's pickup truck, a little 6x12 trailer. And I would imagine, Jim, you own a studio or a gym, and I'm going to buy 2 pieces. I get there, I've got a few $1,000s of cash, not much, maybe 3 to 5,000, and I'm buying 2 pieces for $600 a piece. And I get there and you got 10 pieces, and you're like, Steven, would you like anything else? I'll cut you a deal, because the way the gym kind of works, the more you buy, the cheaper.
Yeah.
In a sense, you get a package deal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, Jim, I'm interested in that one, if I can fit it on the trailer. And so I'd end up buying 5 of them, 6 of them, getting a better deal.
Yeah.
Bring them back to my studio to kind of always keep my place spiced up, interesting. And if I had 3 pieces of the same machine, if I paid $500, y'all, I would literally put it back online. I'd use it for 2, 3, 4 months and sell it for $500. It was never started to be a business.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, honestly. I think what I was getting, I was just so passionate about gym equipment and honestly helping people. And I would see the smile and the grin on someone's face, being like, when I sold it to them, they loved it.
Yeah.
And they were none of us, I don't think, realized how big of a steal we were getting back then.
Well, they were getting $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 piece of equipment.
Yes, sir.
For $500, $1,000.
Dirt cheap looking back. But I don't even know what kind of a good deed I'm doing at the time. So then my now wife, Amber, she's like, babe, we're going till wee hours in the morning. Like, we're literally working all day during this time and then driving 4 or 5 hours throughout the night, picking stuff up at a random gym, driving back, going straight to work, sometimes no sleep. she was driving literally to Wake Forest sometimes to sell real estate with no sleep. So looking back, I'm like, how did I even do this shit? But I guess it made me into the man I am today. But so she's like, we need to at least cover cost. Like charge an extra $100 for the fuel and the labor. I mean, it was killing me, honestly, from my body. I've torn so many things on my body. So I didn't think nothing of it. Started making $100, which really wasn't making. And I honestly, y'all, at the time, and I still fight this battle, I felt guilty making money off something I used, but I didn't realize the market and the mind shift. So I ended up meeting.
And even though you were not making a lot,
Yes, sir.
it had way more value in reality than you were thinking about in your head.
Oh,
You're thinking, oh, this is a used piece of equipment, but the reality of getting a used piece of equipment, it was worth probably twice what you were selling it for.
2-3 times. Yes, sir. And didn't even know it. But you remember something. Something's only as good as what the market allows.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care if you've got the best car, Jim, in your eyes. It's only what it's worth, what somebody's willing to pay.
For it. That's right.
Correct. So I'm going through all this, not thinking anything about it, and it starts one Craigslist ad that turned to 2 Craigslist ads that turned to 10, that turned to 20. I'm kind of building a name for myself up and down the East Coast. And we were truck and trailering it, like, and literally picking up. I'm training a man who, this is when the sky ball effect. I'm training a man who ended up buying our mall. And he approaches me, and this is 2009, and he sees me selling gym equipment, and he's like, Steven, got some news. Go hop in the car right across the street with me. I'm like, where are we going? He said, literally across the street. I go from my old parking lot to the mall parking lot. I mean, I could walk.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, what are we doing? He's like, well, this used to be a gym. And I'm like, I know that. I used to go here. And it was a church at the time. And so the mall was allowing the church to use the facility. And so I didn't think nothing about it. I walk into the facility. I remember exactly, completely different than the way my gym looks. And he's like, the mall is empty. This is 2009, like not a lot of people in the mall.
Yeah, right.
I was actually one of the first people on the back side back then.
Yeah.
And he says, what do you pay rent? And I'm like, I think on all 3 bays at the time, I was paying $3,800 a month, which was a lot, guys, for me.
Right. Yeah.
But I had a decent amount of square footage looking back.
Right.
But it was a lot for a 20-some-year-old kid to pay, plus all the other expenses.
Right.
So he says, we walk through the place. He says, wonder if I give you 18,000 or how many ever square feet it is for the same price. And he said, you don't pay a dime till you renovate. And looking back, I'm like, okay, I'm going to renovate your building. Like, you know,
Right.
but that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I'm grateful for it. And so he says, we'll work it out where we stair step your rent. And I'm like, okay. And so me just being mean, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, I go home to my wife or Amber, we're not married yet. And I'm like, oh my God, we got to do this. Well, then I don't even think about it. I'm like,
You love that feeling.
Oh, I do.
So hyped up.
I do, Jim. But the problem was, it hits me like I don't have nearly enough equipment for that amount of square foot.
Yeah.
So that's when I really turned it up a notch. And I was like, okay, I'm searching for gym equipment. And I'm literally, I swear to you guys, I've got $5,000. I'm spending $5,000 plus another $2,000 on credit card, swiping my credit card terminal, going and getting cash sometimes, and literally paying it off it's crazy back then what you had to do because the banks didn't see at all what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Piss
and
you off because
oh,
just a couple of years prior, they were doing the ninja loans. No job, no income. Here you go,
Yeah,
$500,000 house.
stated income, Jim. You could just state your income and get
I'm a multimillionaire.
get a bank loan. And so I start doing this, and I'm kind of building a name for myself. And I was always good at marketing and stuff like that. So I was becoming very big, more and more ads on Craigslist and stuff like that. And Amber kind of turns to me and she's like, babe, she was like, if you really think about it, you're generating, I know it's not a lot of profit, but you're generating more income on gym equipment than you are any of your other businesses. At the time, I'm still waiting tables, bartending, nightclub, all kinds of things. I'm thinking, okay, if I can make 200 over here, 100 over here, and you got multiple streams of income, I was doing okay, but I am broke. Yeah. I mean, sometimes
and exhausted.
Yeah. I'm exhausted. But looking back, always a lot of men and women come up to me younger, and they ask me what it takes to be successful. You've heard balance before.
Yeah.
When you're in the middle of the grind, I don't feel like there's any balance. It's virtually impossible. And I know you've been there before, where you almost want to pull your hair out, but then you step back one day and you're like, wow, I did it. Like, and it just like gives me cold chills talking about it, because it's like looking back on my life, you know, in my 40s now, but looking back at that 18 to let's say 30, I'm like, I literally don't know how to work the hours and stuff. But at that point of the gym equipment, when I'm really realizing that this could be a viable business, I had four Cardinal self-storages that turned to, when I got the new gym at the mall, they gave me a storage on the right side. It was probably 3,000 square foot, but it had a single door. Well, what was beautiful about that, I could literally store, let's say 30, 40 pieces in it and still operate my gym. And if you came to get equipment, I literally was there to load you. So it worked great for a while.
That's cool.
Well, then it got bigger. And I'm now getting another warehouse and another warehouse and another warehouse. And literally my old warehouse, which was probably 70,000 square feet.
That's the one at Hall River?
Hall River, yes, sir. Yes,
I still
sir.
got my Smith machine back there.
Oh, wow, that's so funny.
I got to put it back together from moving it.
That's so funny. It was years ago. But yeah, so the one in Hall River gym, I literally am at my buddy's sign shop. And a guy named Scott, who was a family friend of my father's, ate at the restaurant and stuff like that. He was like, Steven, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm selling gym equipment. He was like, yeah. He said, I heard most people had no clue. It wasn't something locally I advertised.
Yeah.
They just thought I owned a gym. And he was like, well, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I got storage units. He said, man, there's 20,000 square foot next to me, cheap rent if you need it. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm under 3 leases right now. I was like, of course I played like, oh, I can't afford it. Because I really couldn't. And I knew like my wife was going to like murder me. Like at this time, like, you know, because I was really overextending. And so next thing I know, I go over to meet the landlord of this place. And he's an older gentleman, super nice. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. This was really what I think put me to the next level without knowing it.
Right.
And he says, because in my world, you need space. You need a lot of space. The machines are big. And so he says to me, hey, Steven, this is my area. It's got loading dock access. I didn't have loading dock access at the time.
Wow.
So it was a big deal. I said, sir, how much are you asking for this? And let's call it $2,500 a month or something, $3,000. It was cheap. But I was like, sir, I just can't right now. I was like, I've got my gym. I've got 3 other places. I was paying $400 over here, $1,100 over here, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. And he says, I tell you what, son. He's like, I've heard a lot about you. He said, this was literally on a handshake. I've had so many deals, like, you know, in the Greek world, there's just said thing that's like, you got your balls in your hand, or your balls, your word, and your handshake.
Right.
You don't ever shake a man's hand and you like, if I owed you money, something happened to me, my wife would come pay you. Right. Like, it's just what we do.
Right. Yeah.
And so he said, how about this? He said, you put a few pieces in here in the corner, you pay me $100 a month. Whatever you think's fair. He said, you fill it up, you pay me the full rent. I was like, really? I said, well, what about in 6 months if it's only the back corner? He said, that's okay. Well, it's fair. I was like, what? And so I was dumbfounded. And so I was like, you got a deal. I go home again. And I'm like, Amber, you're not going to believe this shit, you know? And so she thinks I'm crazy. And so I get this space. Y'all, second month is flat full. 20,000 square foot of gym equipment. Yes, sir. I have people coming from all over. And it was like, I literally went from 50 to 100 ads to 400 ads on Craigslist. I'm working till 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 in the morning. You can ask my wife. Every night online. And let me tell y'all what I would do. I would buy your gym equipment. I would talk to you for an hour or two. And then I would literally write a detailed post. I mean, that took a lot of time. I mean, an ad might take me 30 minutes to handwrite of where this come from. This was a mom and pop gym since 1978. I would literally write, you know, this equipment was purchased brand new, whatever. The gym went out of business. This was a $3,800 piece. I'm selling it for $600. I bought it from you for $400. I had to go get it. I would be very transparent with the people.
Yeah.
And y'all, at the time, I was like, man, if I made an extra $100 a day profit, that's $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Honest to God, back then, that was a lot of money to me.
Right.
Plus, I got other means of income coming in from other things. So I'm like, okay. When I'd done that, It really, I would wake up, I would get 2-3 hours sleep. I would wake up, I swear to you guys, and I'd have 30 to 50 phone calls. I would have so much ads coming. It was free. But you had to put the work in.
Yeah.
Well, nobody knows what I'm doing. So me and my wife bought a house that had a big garage, and I had the other thing. And when we moved in this house, I kid you not, we were broke. Like eating peanut butter and jelly broke. We had used all our money. You been there?
Ramen noodles.
Oh, brother, yeah. We had used all our money to buy the house, and I'm leveraged out on gym equipment, and the more like every dollar was coming in was going literally right back out. I always tell people like, oh, you can have millions come in through the left, but if you shell it right back to the right, you don't have a lot sitting. People just think business owners have all this money, you know?
Yeah.
And so I get a phone call. Well, right before that, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to create a Facebook. And she's like, what do you mean? She was like, for the business. This was no website, guys. There was nothing. Like, I didn't even look like I existed for years on the gym equipment side. And so she says, okay, y'all, I post every day. I would post a piece or two every day for 6 months, not even a call. People always want to, look at your chapter 40 on their chapter 3.
Yeah.
And they don't give it enough time. And so I post, and I'll never forget. This is when the light bulb went off. Guy calls me, and he's like, hey, Steven, I saw that inner outer thigh piece you posted on Facebook. And I'm like, yes, sir. He said, do you have it? And I said, yes, sir. He says, how much is it? And I'm going to use $1,000 for a number. I can't remember. And he says, okay, I'll take it. I just need you to ship it to Pennsylvania. And I believe it was Pennsylvania. I can't remember. I said, okay, guys, this is no lie. I had no clue how to ship it, who to call. You think to call UPS, but in freight, it's not that way.
No.
And so I'm like, okay. So I get off the phone. I play stupid. I'm like, let me get a quote. I'm like, tell one of my right-hand guys, I said, we got to figure this shit out. Like, where do we get a pallet? Like all this stuff. This is no lie. So I kind of figured it out. We don't have a clue how to palletize this thing. We ship it out. It falls over on the pallet, but we don't know this. Yeah. Probably the shipper goes from dock to dock to dock, all this shit. I lost money on the shipping, but he gets the piece. I still made a little bit of money. And he calls me, he says, Steven, it fell over. And my heart sinks, Jim. I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, is this really true? But he says, Steven, it's great. It's got a couple scratches, but it's perfect. I was about to buy one for $4,000 and I'm so happy with it. Thank you so much. I'll do business with you again. Yeah. Light bulb went off.
There you go.
So I went home to my wife and I said, and I don't even think we're married at this time. And I said, honey, I was like, if I can sell this to Pennsylvania, I can sell this around the world.
Yeah.
And she always knew, but do we know? And the infrastructure you need, from the box trucks to the forklifts to the manpower to, the huge warehouse, major problem. And so I started really going hard on Facebook. That account by 2016, 2017 hit 128,000 followers. I was how people's doing video and all the podcasts now and stuff like that. There was nothing like, this was me literally making a video. Hello, this is Steven from Super Fitness, walking through my warehouse for 15 minutes, just making a shit video. But people loved it.
I got a kick out of those things. I love looking at the equipment.
Yeah. And I've been saying lately, I need to go back to the basics and redo some of that from 10, 12, 14 years ago, because people loved it. They would generate, some of those videos would have 300,000 views. Free. And it would just share. But, the algorithms and everything has changed at this point.
What piece of equipment got the most hits? Not somebody buying it, but that really liked it.
So, Jim, normally, what would normally get the weird old, Nautilus and stuff that, that you just didn't see often. Now, they might not want it, but that would generate the most views.
Like, oh my God, I remember working
Can't
out on
believe,
that when I was 12 years old.
Oh my God, Arnold Schwarzenegger worked out on the, shit like that.
And so my favorite was the Jacob's Ladder.
Oh yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah. And Jim, when I started, when I got the big warehouse and I started the Craigslist ads, everything just started in the Facebook. Everything just started going up. And Jason Copeland walked up to me in 2017 and he says, Steven, and my wife just happened to be there, and he says, Steven, I heard you're interested in more warehouse space. I was literally busting at the seams at the warehouse where you've been.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, sir, I am. And he said, well, I've got the buildings I'm going to be selling at Copeland. And I said, yeah, I'm interested. Guys, straight up, I don't know price. I don't know. You know how big these things are. I'm like, I don't even think I can afford it, but I'm willing to talk. And so things are going good, but I still don't have a lot of money because I'm constantly dumping it back into inventory. What most people don't understand about business, I still live this way today. They think you just got these millions sitting there.
Right.
It's not the case
Right.
because in reality, all my money's tied up in assets. It's not there.
Right.
And so I go over and look, and it's the building on the hill, and it's huge, but it's 3-level. It just wasn't the one for me. And I said, Jason, what's going on with the distribution center? Because I used to ride by there every day. And he was like, oh, we're selling that to a local guy. I said, okay. And my heart kind of broke. Well, guys, for 2 years, I rode by there, and it become more and more dilapidated, nothing going on. And I'm like, I'm talking like trees going out the gutters. I'm like, golly, out of the blue, something told me to text him. And so I texted him, and my phone instantly rang. This is 2019. And so this is a gift and curse because this is right before COVID. And so I said, Jason, what's going on with the distribution center? Phone rings. And he's like, oh man, the deal fell through. I ended up selling the whole thing to a guy out of South Carolina. And Jason's like pissed in a sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And he don't really go into detail. He's very professional. But he's like, would you want me to hook you up with him? Because the guy don't really play the real estate game. He wanted the contents.
Yeah.
He almost does what I do with gym equipment, but like the huge looms and
Yeah.
they like refurb them, send them somewhere. I don't even exactly know.
Right.
So I said, yes, sir, sure. I get on a 3-way text, and then that guy calls me. And he says, Steven, are you interested in the building? I'm like, yes, sir. And there again, I swear to you guys, I don't know a thing. I'm like, man, this is a reach over here. So I go home, and he tells me, he says, I'm coming actually to Burlington to see the buildings tomorrow. Would you want to meet? I'm like, yes, sir. Y'all, I go home to my wife and I'm like, babe, drop every fucking thing you're doing. I'm like, we got a meeting tomorrow. And she's like, what? I was like, to buy Copeland Mills. Now I'm next level crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, what? And so I'm like, okay. And I'm really abbreviating the story because, it would literally take hours to tell you the long version. And so we sit down with him, and he's like, okay. And I'm like, sir, I don't even know what you're charging or whatever. He says, I don't know either. Building needs a lot of work. We knew it needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
I had walked it and stuff like that, but I wasn't sure of what's going on, what to do, blah, blah, blah. And so next thing I know, he says, okay, he gives us a price. And it's kind of like he don't know himself price. But he wants to liquidate one of the buildings. That's probably cash flow for him too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not really thinking about it. And I'm like, okay. So what we ended up doing, we're literally going back and forth for like maybe 3-4 days, and we agree on terms. Jim, what he had me do, and y'all may understand this better than me, this was like only my second real big real estate deal like this. The first one was at the first warehouse. He said, I need a $100,000 hard deposit. And you're going to rent back, but you can start renovations, because he needed time to get everything out and time for, I guess, tax purposes.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it, but I agreed to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of put me a stretch because I couldn't put any equipment, and I'm paying thousands of dollars of rent towards a building that I kind of own but don't own,
Right.
but I'm under contract. Well, looking back, best thing I ever did, but you talk about losing the hair on your head.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to put my building up for sale, and this was the game plan. I'm going to take the equity, not a penny of the money, apply it to the loan for the new building. So I go to my bank, and I'm like, hey, I need a loan. And they are like, are you sure? So to go back to tell you this, like, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but to go back, this is what happened at the initial building. This is why I waited to tell you this part of the story. So how I got the other building and actually owned it, I moved in as a tenant. My buddy who had moved me in there was moving out on the bay right next door. We were literally neighbors like this. So I agreed to take his spot from the landlord. And it was like another 8,000 to 10,000 square feet. So now I'm going to be, let's call it 30,000. And so landlord literally walks up shortly after that and says, hey, Steven, need to talk to you. I'm like, what's going on, buddy? And he says, man, I can't believe how much gym equipment you're selling. How do these people know about you? And I'm like, man, I'm not being straight up. I'm like, I don't really know. I'm like, it's crazy. Like, I'm building this name for myself. People thought I was just a gym owner, and I'm like, selling equipment all over the place. And he says, well, I got some good and bad news. You need to buy the building. I said, buy the building? I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about? I'm literally dumbfounded. And he says, well, his partner had passed away. So I think the wife of the old, something like that, didn't want nothing to do with the building.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he was kind of stuck with that. And so I'm like, okay. I'm like, sir, I've never bought anything like this. I don't even know if I can get a bank loan. This is no bullshit. So he tells me the price, which I thought at the time was very fair. This is though like, y'all, 13, 14 years ago. So y'all remember warehousing was sitting empty everywhere.
Yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
opposite of today's times. Boy, should we have bought all of them.
Yeah.
Like if we had the money.
Seriously.
But I go back home, and Amber, my wife's a big time real estate agent, but back then we don't know what we're doing as far as this goes. And I'll never forget, I called my bank. They tell me they can't do the loan. So another local guy had told me, hey, call this bank. And so I did. Y'all, they put me through the ringer for like 3 or 4 months. Pre-approved, all this paperwork, all this. Yes, Steven, we're doing the loan. So I'm thinking I'm telling the landlord we're good. And I get a call, and the call is something I'm not expecting, of questioning like almost my character. And when somebody questions my character, basically I told this loan guy to basically go F himself. And it really hurt my feelings. So now I'm depressed. I'm like, oh my God, the best opportunity. Because I knew if my building got sold, I might get kicked out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I've built this business that's growing great, that's got an opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm going to lose it? And where am I going to go? So what ended up happening, I walked back into my bank, I'll never forget, which is First Bank, right across the street.
This is the bank that said no originally.
Correct. They had actually turned me down several times, not because, and to paint a picture for everybody, they didn't turn me down because they didn't love Steven. They turned me down for sheer financials of books.
Yeah.
I didn't understand back then what needed to happen and all these things. I didn't understand that, oh, Steven, you're driving back then an $80,000 car, barely can afford it, but that is making your shit on books look bad for when we need a loan. So I had to you're young and stupid, you don't know. So I walk in, I'll never forget as long as I live. I shut the door to my buddy's office, and I'm like, hey man, I really need your help. And he's like, what's up? And I was like, that building, I was like, I really need to buy it. I'm gonna get kicked out. So I talked to him a little bit about it, and he agrees to meet me over there. And this is, I always tell people, you sometimes got to take a chance on someone. And that might be the best chance you ever get. And so I'm so appreciative for this. So a week or two later, he meets me over there, and he's like, I'll never forget, Steven, are you sure? Like, the building looked like shit, like terrible. We knew it needed hundreds of thousands of dollars of renovation, but it was big.
Yeah.
And the bones were good. It just, as far as paint and all this, it looks terrible. And so he agrees. He basically pushes the bank loan through. And let me tell you why he did it. 3 or 4 of the bays were, they had tenants. So he counted that for my income.
Oh, his income.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so he counted that for my income, so that helped me on the books. It helped tremendously. So I'm like, wonderful. So I buy the building. So now going to the new building, I completely renovated that building over the course of years. The building's super nice, gated, security, like new LED lights throughout, all the things. I'd literally done everything a little at a time. Every few months. I mean, we're constantly working on my new building, we're working on it. So next thing I know, 2019, I go under contract on the big building, 178,000 square foot. This thing is big or bigger than Walmart, Costco.
Wow.
It's just huge. And so I literally don't have the money that I knew I needed to do. So this is what happened. So the same bank is going to do the loan. And so there was no problem at that point because my business had grown, all these things. We're going to take the money, the equity off the old building. I'm going to apply that for the 20% down payment of the new building and kind of like wash. And then whatever the difference was, I was going to pay out of pocket. Now, remember, I told you I had to give $100,000 down deposit, rent back, and we were going to close middle of 2020. So like we were going to close anywhere from April to July.
April.
Yes, sir. This is no lie. Okay. So I start renovations. The renovations, guys, was off credit, lines of credit, and my own cash. We're about 700,000 deep in renovation, knowing it probably needed 2 or 3 million, but I could do it over the course of 10 years. Like I didn't need to do it right then. And COVID hits. And I am literally, my gym is shut down. I'm operating at the warehouse, but my whole business revolved about commercial gyms that the world closed every gym in America down.
Stop.
I'm like, what in the hell am I going to do? I'm no lie, I'm like bawling crying. To go back even further, the gym that I told you about that made fun of me in October of that year when I was basically under contract renovating the new business, the lady had called me. He was out of the picture, her ex-husband. Lady had called me, and this was a sad story. So I never want to paint a picture like of anything bad. And she's like, hey, Steven, we're going to close the gym down and I need you to buy it. So it's kind of surreal after almost 20 years that you buy the people that was going to put you out of business, which I never want to buy anybody from going out of business. Like, I don't like that. And so I agreed to meet with her. I had knee replacement November of 2019, so I can't even walk. And I had complications with this knee. So I'm kind of in bad shape too, as far as like being able to do the work I need to do. And so we agreed to close down the gym in March of 2020, which is crazy looking back on the chain of events. So this gym was, I think, 48,000 square foot, the old Harris Teeter, huge. And so I buy this gym. I am literally extracting it as they're telling us that they're about to shut gyms down around the world. So I didn't know what to do. I'm sitting at the dinner table, true story, with my wife. It's 9:30 p.m. And they announced they're going to shut gyms down in 4 days. I'm extracting the next morning. My kids are, my kids are 1.5 and 6 months old. So they're 14 months apart. And I'm in tears at the dinner table. I look at my wife and I was like, we are fucked. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what? We're a little overextended. Nobody knows it though.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh man, they got a nice house. They drive nice cars.
Yeah.
They don't see the inventory I got.
See that little duck paddling like hell underneath the water.
And Jim, they don't see the emotional stress and the biggest problem that I was facing was I had a shit ton of commercial gym equipment sitting. Who's going to buy it? Yeah. They're shutting gyms down around the world. We're screwed. And so, but I'm a firm believer anything and everything's possible. And I'm a firm believer if you work hard enough that you can make it with whatever you do.
Right.
Yeah. So I go shower. I go sit on the couch, 9:35. I'll never forget it. And I said, Amber, I'm going to do a liquidation sale at this gym tomorrow. I am going to liquidate it and just kind of get my money back. I was like, I think that's the smartest thing to do. And she's like, well, what do you mean? It's almost 10 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm going to post it right now. And she said, where are you going to post it? I'm like, my local Facebook. Maybe locals will come. Y'all, I was hoping to get 10 people. So I literally am posting plate for 50 cents a pound, barbells for $50.
But people are realizing they're not going to be able to work out at a gym. They need to work out at home.
But hear me out. that ain't clicking in my head yet.
But you're not realizing that.
No, sir. And so that's what I'm getting at. And I keep telling the story and I get cold chills because it was so, it affected me so bad back then. Like, I'm tunnel vision, head down. Me and her not going out, we're not doing anything but work. 2 kids, knee replacement, multi-millions hanging over my head, and people just think I got it like that, and I don't. I'm just a hustler.
Right.
And so, this is no lie. I make this extremely good ad, post it on my personal Facebook only. No Instagram, no nothing.
Right.
And I get out of the shower, and I'm not checking my phone. It's 15, 20 minutes later.
This is that night.
10:15, 10:30, and it's been shared 200 times locally. I'm like, my phone, I've got text, and all I'd put on there, 9 a.m. liquidation sale, local gym club. I didn't even name the gym because I didn't want to put embarrassment or anything. I was trying to be as professional as possible. Right. But the world was, people are freaking out at this point. And gym people, to paint a picture for you guys, is like fiending for their alcohol. they got to work out. That is their drug of choice.
We have a really good friend, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Dan doesn't work out every single day by 5, 6 o'clock, he's anxiety ridden.
Okay. I rest my case.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the guy that likes cigars, they want their cigar.
Yep.
The guy that likes his bourbon, they want their bourbon.
Yep.
I mean, I hate the food for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Food is a same thing. So the gym person, the mom who's got the kids that just needs that 30 minutes to work
Yep.
out, that's a big deal for her. Well, they're shutting it down, and what people don't understand is the lines out the ABC store packed, but yet we can't have 10, 20 people in our gyms.
Yeah, it's
Kind of crazy, insane. So I didn't think nothing of it. I saw the shares and I'm like, oh my God, what in the world? I'm blown away. I still, just so y'all know, don't know if 10 people's going to show up, 100, whatever.
Right.
Y'all, I pull in the parking lot of our Gold's Gym at 8:30 in the morning, give or take, and I had my whole crew there. I had 4 semi trucks waiting, plus my box trucks, and the parking lot I bet has 100 cars.
That's crazy.
Now, hear me out on something. I have no credit card set up, Jim, to take payment. I've got the local PD there to buy equipment, the local fire department to buy equipment. These are personal friends of mine that work out at my gym that I'm like, what are y'all doing here? And they're like, oh man, we need a couple hammer strength pieces for the PD or the fire department. I'm like, okay, we need to run the city credit card though. So I'm like, I didn't even think about any of this. Now, luckily, literally across the street is my gym that we got credit card and everything. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just pay the tax on it through here.
Yeah.
So I call my wife, 2 young babies, and I'm like, get your ass up here. I'm like, I need you to run credit cards and all these things. So what I ended up doing, I liquidated probably 90% of that gym in 2 days.
No shit.
I swear to God to you. And I didn't
In
hardly
the middle of the pandemic.
I didn't hardly even need the semi trucks. We were literally selling. We had people, box trucks, trailers, pickup trucks. Like I couldn't believe it. I mean, every businessman around town had bought equipment for a treadmill for his wife. I was selling $7,000 treadmills for a few $100s. Now, everything was as is. Hey, Jim, test it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I didn't own this gym. I don't know a thing. So that's why we were selling it cheap. If we bring it back to my warehouse and we refurb it, we go through it, we test electrodes and all this, we got to charge a little more because it's very labor intensive.
Right.
So I got smart. I'm like, holy shit, that many people showed up here. I'm going to change the ad and just market it bigger onto my warehouse. Gym liquidation at my warehouse.
There you go.
So this is true story. So that gym, we end it, and we've not even been to the warehouse in 3 days.
Wow.
And I'm going, and now I'm back almost in depression mode because I didn't really make a lot of money off that gym. What ended up happening was, I kind of just got my money back, covered cost, and I was thankful for that. And we probably made a little bit of money, but the amount of work it took was a lot. And so I'm like, okay, change the ad. I'll never get it as long as I live. The bank had basically told me they're not going to be able to do the loan during this time. And so my other warehouses under contract that were taking the money, that falls through too. So it was like bam, bam, like smack you in the face.
Yeah.
Every day something. So I'm a little bit probably in depression. And when I say depression, I'm not the type to be depressed, but I'm like, my mind, I'm like thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Yeah. How many more hours can I work? I don't have much more in me. So I'll never forget, I am coming down Hall River, down the hill. I'm coming up the hill, and I'm in a freaking traffic jam. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And I remember like it was yesterday, because it even makes me emotional to talk about, thinking to myself, like, there is a chance I could lose everything. But I had these little kids. I had a wife. I'm like, man, I got to make it. I'm like, I cannot, like, I got to figure this out for them. Because when my back's against the wall, I am very like, I will not, like in a fight, you may kill me, but if I rise back up, I'm coming back at you.
Right.
I'm not going to back down. And so I get to up the hill and I'm like, where in the hell is all these cars? And my parking lot it was gravel. My parking lot at the place is slap full. They are waiting through the gate to get in like a Walmart. I'm like, we back in the day didn't have 5 cars there, and now there's 100. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's a crazy, like that little 2-lane road.
right. Jim, we had 48-foot low boys pulling up. People driving up, guys from Texas, Ohio, New York. And what it was, and I didn't even think about it, When I changed all the stuff online, and then I put on my Instagram and Facebook, hey, we're going to be operating out of the warehouse because I sold medical devices.
Right,
So like new steps, like if you probably
Right.
had a rehab machine, they couldn't shut us down over there. And we were open air. We had all the dock doors up. So I'm pulling in, start talking. I'm like, where'd you come from? Oh, Steven, we drove from Virginia. We drove from over here. Our local gym guy told us to go see our guy, Steven. You're Steven. Like, they know who I am. I'm like, so all my gym owners that were shutting down, their members were freaking out like mine was. Yeah. So now it was a snowball effect of people literally coming out to get their wife dumbbells. Now here's a treadmill. Here's the caveat. The crazy part about it was we're still not making a lot of money.
Right.
Dumbbells, plates, all these things, they're pennies a pound, meaning like profit.
Yeah.
You're really just covering costs, making a little bit of money. But it's something everyone needs.
Right.
So I am honestly, looking back, just so thankful that we were able to make the money, pay the bills, even though we wasn't making a lot. Well, but we're showing a lot of money generated through the credit card machine and all that. Right. So maybe 2 months goes by, same guy for the bank loan after the warehouse fell through. Now remember, from a tax standpoint and all this, from a financial standpoint, when one building's under contract, you're releasing one building to buy a new building, applying the money, all this stuff, that looks good to get the loan.
Right.
Well, the other building fell through, my building.
Yeah.
But I still have to purchase this building. I'm talking to my guy, and I'm like, bro, I'm way deep in renovations, the deposit, all this stuff. You have got to make this loan happen. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And he pushed that loan through. And I'm, honest to God, y'all, I'm so thankful I still bank at the same bank because I'm loyal.
That's awesome.
And so he pushed the loan through. We made it through that part of COVID. We moved in the new warehouse in, I think, November, December of 2020, when we were supposed to move in way sooner, but like almost everything had halted, from construction to everything at the new building. And when we moved in the new building, we had state-of-the-art, 178,000 square foot. The business just kept growing. My Instagram, for instance, used to have 10,000 followers. It's almost at 150,000 now.
Nice.
We started a YouTube. We started podcast. All these things.
You just hit a milestone on your YouTube. I didn't even know you had a YouTube for Super Fit. I've been watching you and Amber.
Oh, the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even know that you had a Super Fitness podcast.
Jim, I'll tell you the
YouTube channel.
I'll tell you the backstory of that, which is wild and no different than what we're doing, honestly.
Right.
I was selling to a local gym owner out of Raleigh, and he had come twice, I think, to the gym. And on his third time coming, I didn't even know he was doing this. He walks in with 5 guys and a videographer. And the videographer, all 5 guys, besides the gym owner had been there. They're like, what? They've never seen nothing like this. Yeah. They're like, how in the hell did you build this? And I'm doing like a 10-minute long story. I was always shy of the camera. And even though I'm very good if it was like us 3, no cameras.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was shy of this. It scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
I would almost shake. And like, I'm very comfortable now. So what happened was they asked me to talk. And so the camera was not about me. It was about you guys. And so I was not nervous that day. And I spoke for maybe 10, 15 minutes on camera, and they posted to YouTube. The videographer started hitting me up after that. And he was like, hey, man, there's a lot of people interested in your business and you. And I was like, me? And I kind of turned him down for a couple months. And because he said, you really need to film. And so I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I'm busy. I got kids. Yeah. I sell tons of gym equipment already. I don't need it.
Yeah.
And y'all know this. We're in a different era of business. If you're not staying relevant, somebody can knock your head off fast, if that even makes sense. And so it wasn't that I needed more business or anything like that. But he kept writing me, and he said something to me one day. He said, man, I would love to come to shoot you for free a couple reels to show you the power. And honestly, at the time, I think I had 10 to 15,000 followers on Instagram. Facebook still had over 100,000. So I had a decent following, but nothing like of the magnitude. But then because I was so big of a gym equipment supplier, what pissed me off was people would be like, damn, Steven, I can't believe you don't have 1 million followers, because the young generation associates that with success.
Yeah.
Well, then you know a lot of wealthy people, just like I do. Some of them don't even have social.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't always look at the followers as that person is successful. So this is what happened. I let him come. I'm nervous. And he says, what's a piece you got cool in here? And I said, oh, I got this piece over here. It's Dallas McCarver's first lesson. He said, stop. Play like I'm not even here. Just continue talking. So I'm like, okay, I'm walking by this piece. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, man, we just got this Arsenal Strength. It's the #1 leg press. Dallas McCarver used it. And the backstory was Dallas McCarver passed away. So it was kind of like a big deal to have this leg press.
Right. Yeah.
That I didn't know it was the leg press till after the fact. And so he makes a professional reel with professional photography, puts the captions, a little cover photo, 20,000 views.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is a 30, 40-second video. I'm like, holy crap. I had been doing little bullshit videos on my phone. Not the highest quality, but it worked. But I wasn't getting nearly the traction. And so I hired him shortly after that. And I said, this was my criteria. I said, listen, I do not want to be salesy. I don't want to sell really anything. I just want to make impact and help. I don't need more business. But of course, by giving back, you kind of in turn get the business, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You know, I've always heard you got to give to receive. You got to give to receive. I don't know if that resonates with younger people the way it hit me, if that makes sense, because my wife taught me a lot of that. She's always been a big giver and buys everybody the coffee. And, you know, that was, maybe it's just a man thing. I'm not one that, Jim, happy birthday, here's a gift.
Yeah.
Like, that's more of a woman thing. But, you know, they'll meet all over everywhere and they do like little things. They eat lunch, they drink coffee, you know. That just ain't something I do.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was, from the very get-go, he said, hey, we're going to start a YouTube. I'm like, a YouTube? He was like, yeah, we're going to post all your shorts on YouTube. And he said, but I want to make a small documentary. And I'm like, he said, I had told him my story kind of like I'm telling you guys, but more in depth. And he said to me, he says, yeah, I think people need to see where you started. A little 1,500-foot training studio with no money and developed to almost 200,000 square feet. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, how do you want to do it? And he said, I just want to film you riding down the road in your truck talking about it. And we'll go to stop to stop to stop. I'm like, okay. I mean, literally, guys, I'm like, I don't even understand what he's talking about. But I'm like, okay, I'll do it. The day of the shoot, it was my first ever YouTube video. I'm nervous, shaky, clammy. Do I look okay? Like, I didn't shave, so I didn't realize like the picture almost made my face look real fat. Like, it's amazing what these cameras will make you look like, you know?
They do add 10 pounds.
100%. Well, I didn't know all this, you know?
Yeah.
And so next thing I know, though, the cool part about the story, we filmed this thing. It's maybe 45-minute to an hour-long video after it was chopped up and everything. It's raw, real. There was none of my videos, none of my reels, nothing scripted. Everything's just me talking just like this off the cuff.
Yeah.
And we went around, and the bad part about the video, I dropped the F-bomb, I bet, like 10 times. When I get real deep in a story, it's just something that, like, coming from the Greek world, like, they cuss like sailors in the restaurants. I don't mean anything by it, but I'm trying to get better at that. But anyways, there were some parts of the video I'm like, golly, I wish I could redo that. Well, that video, after the first year-ish, got like 5,000, 6,000 views. I didn't think nothing of it. I think we had hit, y'all, like 4,000 to 6,000 subscribers on the channel. And what we were doing, we were posting once a month, like a video gym tour. And there was a couple of them that hit big for over 100,000 views, which I was like, holy crap. I'll state this on camera, I'm not monetized. I don't make a penny from YouTube, social media, anything. Not that we can monetize now, but I just always wanted to, at this point, bring that authenticity and being like, I'm not doing this to get paid.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to sell more product. I'm not doing this. And I just think more people resonate with that than seeing an ad every 2 minutes on your page. I didn't want that. So this is what ended up happening. So I looked down one day at the YouTube, and we had posted some really good videos. And there was a couple celebrity clients that we had posted as well. That probably helped a lot. And I saw one of the videos at like 30,000 views. That same video.
Right.
What the hell? A year and a half later, I'm like, no way. Next thing I know, 100,000 views on the first video that was a year and a half old. And it was kind of like going viral, that my story, not the celebrity client, like me. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I had talked to some people, and none of them got it figured out. But they're like, yeah, Steven, you can post a video from 7 years ago, and that all of a sudden starts getting traction later. We don't know today. This video may get 50 views. And in 5 years, the right person get a hold of this video, and that podcast is getting streamed everywhere. Yeah. Or if you take clips from this podcast and it goes viral, then everybody starts watching the podcast.
Yeah.
So didn't think nothing of it. And the more we started posting, the more the subscriber count just went up. So now we're trying to do like 2 a month YouTubes. And it's literally just like we're doing, shooting the shit with a gym owner. And how the YouTube started was, it was me wanting to go, if you had a gym or you had a gym, I wanted to go help my fellow gym owner who gave me the business for helping me. I wanted to help you at my own expense. Because anybody who knows the video, all the equipment, the drones, all this stuff, the editing, it's not cheap. And it's not
at all.
And if you can do it, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I started doing that just literally to make impact with my gym owners. And I never in a million. And so I think, to give you an example, maybe a week or 2 ago, we hit 180-some thousand subscribers, which I laugh about because I'm like, who in the hell? I would have never thought this many people wanted to see gym equipment,
Right.
Yeah.
which is really cool to me, and it resonates with me because a lot of people now write me, and they're writing me, they like my personality, or they're like, now, I will say this, and we were talking about this earlier. Also with that comes judgment. Also with that, I get, why is your hair like this? Why do you have earrings?
Yeah.
Oh, you used to be 50 pounds bigger. Do you even lift weights anymore? It's like, if you gain weight.
You got to ignore that shit.
Oh,
man.
hun.
You can't even acknowledge it, man.
I always tell people, I'm like, listen, you can't give a shit what they think, because no matter
You
what.
cannot.
Jim, if
Always
you
gonna be
post,
somebody.
if you post that's the best cigar, somebody's there to argue with you that it's not.
they're gonna argue.
If you post you're the best coffee, by God, somebody thinks your coffee sucks and this other coffee's great. I always tell people Ford, Chevy, Dodge, everybody's got a difference of opinion.
Exactly.
My dad's a diehard Chevy, but his best friend's a diehard Ford.
Right.
Like, there's not a right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's what gym equipment, it's what you like. So the social platform has become such a big component of the world.
Yeah.
And I think it's only going to get bigger. And that's why I'm telling people, I'm like, literally, just like we're doing today, put yourself out there. If it impacts one person, to me, it's worth doing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people, they don't have the balls to do what you're doing because they're fearful. Every one of us knows a woman who's scared to put a bathing suit on.
Yeah.
But in our eyes, she's beautiful.
Right.
But that's just I wish.
You just have to ignore the haters.
Absolutely.
You have to. You can't take one single comment, that's negative comment that somebody says. You cannot give it 1 minute of attention.
Yes, sir.
There's people out there that they feel like it's their purpose in life to suck the fun out of whatever everybody else is doing.
100%.
And that's how they get their kicks.
100%.
Well, we really appreciate you being on the show, my friend.
Absolutely, yes.
It was amazing. And
Yes.
what is your handles on social media?
Super Fitness Gym Equipment is my handle.
On Instagram and
YouTube,
on
Instagram, Facebook, Super Fitness Gym Equipment. Or just under Steven Harvalias also. I've got personal pages
how do you
too.
spell Harvalias?
Harvalias.
Check out Steven, guys. This has been the
Smoked Debrief.
debrief. And we're going to go because I've got an airplane to catch in about 45 minutes.
Thanks, everybody. Steven is great, man.
Oh, thank you,
Steven.
brother. Thank you.
That was incredible, man.
Thank you.